On October 11, 2025, under the cover of night over the Gulf of Mexico, the United States launched a direct strike against a submarine operated by the Jalisco New Generation Cartel. Inside, it was packed with over 3 tons of methamphetamine and cocaine. On the black market, that amount of methamphetamine alone was worth nearly $400 million, enough to poison an entire U.S. state. Accompanying the sub were 2 escort boats carrying nearly 25 cartel gunmen. They moved alongside the submarine until it reached its rendezvous point with the Venezuelan cartel, where another network would take over to smuggle the cargo into the United States. They believed the ocean would protect them. They were wrong. From the north, the U.S. Navy patrol vessel Hamilton and 4 Navy RIV assault boats surged through the waves. Overhead, an MH-60S Seahawk helicopter circled low, its GAU-21 heavy machine gun aimed straight at the sea. Would the U.S. task force break this cartel deal, or would they vanish back into the darkness? 2:12 a.m., October 11, 2025. Gulf of Mexico, 40 nautical miles south of Pensacola, Florida. The Gulf looked like a sheet of black glass. During a routine radar scan, the Coast Guard's Mobility Command spotted a faint anomaly on its screen, an unidentified moving black dot traveling at just 6 knots, half submerged. No AIS beacon, no radio contact, just a ghost drifting through U.S. waters. Within minutes, data from a Navy P-8A Poseidon aircraft confirmed it. A low heat signature. An irregular metallic outline. Not a fishing boat. Not a buoy. Something else, something that shouldn't be so close to U.S. shores. By 2:25 a.m., the command center at Naval Station Pensacola was awake. Intelligence analysts cross-checked the satellite signals, and what they found froze the room. The object was the size of a Narco Submarine, a semi-submersible vessel used by the Jalisco New Generation Cartel to smuggle drugs, estimated to be 35 feet long, capable of carrying up to 3 tons of cargo. The bay was calm, moonless, and the radar signals were erratic. Every few seconds, the blip disappeared and reappeared, evidence the ship was submerged. Someone down there was playing hide-and-seek with the world's most advanced naval force. At 2:40 a.m., Commander Rachel Decker gave the order, start shadow tracking. 2 ships, the patrol boat USCGC Hamilton, the USS Delbert D. Black, and an MQ-9 Reaper drone began mapping the route. Every ping, every sonar echo was a race against stealth. Because if the narco sub slipped below the thermal layer, it would vanish completely. N01 on the bridge spoke. Outside, the waves were a still murmur. Somewhere beneath the black water, a billion-dollar secret was approaching America. The order was given in absolute silence. Watch. Do not attack. The Hamilton switched to passive sonar. Every sound in the ocean was recorded, filtered, and analyzed in real time. Within minutes, the AI detected something unusual, a low-frequency 42 Hz pulse repeating every 18 seconds. It wasn't biological. It was a propeller. The narco sub was alive and moving east at 7.4 knots, deeper than expected, just 62 feet below the surface. From the sky, the Reaper transmitted infrared data every 90 seconds. A ghostly orange trail crawled across the Black Sea, evidence of a hidden engine running at full power. In the operations room at Pensacola, the data lit up like a heartbeat. 3 agencies, the U.S. Navy, Coast Guard Intelligence, and the DEA Maritime Task Force, were now tracking the same moving black dot. What they saw next stunned even the veterans. The sub was not alone. Thermal imaging showed 2 small corvettes carrying 25 cartel soldiers running without lights, communicating with the submarine via encrypted radio pulses every 11 minutes. Inside those signals, analysts detected responses from servers in Maracaibo, Venezuela, proof of coordination from abroad. Then, a space-based infrared system detected a camouflaged cargo ship 90 nautical miles east, belonging to a Venezuelan drug cartel. Its course matched the submarine's intercept point, a floating rendezvous to deliver drugs into America disguised as industrial paint cans. The mission was no longer surveillance. It was a countdown to attack. At 3:52 a.m., the narco sub surfaced for only 6 seconds, long enough to dump its exhaust. That was all the Navy needed. High above, the Reaper locked its thermal camera onto the target, marking a 30-foot-long black shape skimming the waves at 8 knots. Commander Decker's voice came over the encrypted channel, calm and absolute, execute phase Delta. The USCGC Hamilton accelerated to 28 knots, slicing through the Gulf. 4 speedboats carrying 60 sailors disembarked, each armed with M4 carbines, 48 Malawian Quachas machine guns, and M110 sniper rifles. Overhead, the MH-60R Seahawk swooped low, its headlights streaking across the Black Sea. For a split second, they saw it, a round, dark hull gliding through the water. Then, chaos. The escorts opened fire first, AK-103s flashing red across the night. Tracer rounds cut through the air like lightning. Navy gunners responded with .50 caliber bursts, fire lighting up the sea. The Seahawk's GAU-21 roared. One escort exploded into shrapnel and flame. Agents leaped onto the submarine's slippery hull, breaching the hatch under gunfire. Inside, chaos, chemical fumes, 2,260 pounds of crystal meth and liquid cocaine worth more than $415 million. The gun battle lasted 6 minutes. 3 smugglers dead, 5 captured, 1 American wounded but standing. As the sub burned, its metal cracked and flames spread across the sea. Commander Decker's voice came through the radio. Target located. Package secured. The ocean answered in silence. What they found inside stunned investigators. The sub was a $2.8 million custom-built vessel, hand-welded in a Colombian jungle, coated with radar-absorbing paint. Every bolt was wrapped in carbon tape to mute sonar echoes. Hidden inside were lithium-ion batteries from Shenzhen Dynamics Corporation, enough to power 600 nautical miles of silent operation. Behind a false wall was the cargo chamber, 2,240 pounds of methamphetamine and 480 liters of cocaine base, worth $417 million. But the real shock was in the engine bay, a black box labeled Nav-02, a homemade autopilot module connected to an encrypted satellite uplink. Its data showed 2 previous runs from Venezuela to Florida. This wasn't the first. It was the third. The sub wasn't a fluke, it was a prototype. Analysts confirmed at least 12 identical vessels were being built, each capable of carrying 3 tons undetected. This wasn't smuggling anymore. It was an underwater arms race. By morning, Pensacola Naval Air Station was silent. 1 sub destroyed, $415 million seized, 3 dead, 5 captured. But what came next was worse. Route logs showing multiple successful deliveries, 3 tons of drugs already in the U.S. 12 identical narco subs had launched from Venezuela, each costing $3 million, powered by Chinese lithium batteries. Together, they could move 40 tons per year, a $5 billion maritime drug network. This isn't smuggling anymore, Commander Decker said quietly. It's war underwater. Patrols doubled. Drones launched. Civilian ships warned. Yet, the victory felt hollow. For every narco sub caught, another was being built. By October 13th, the Gulf looked peaceful again, but beneath it lay the wreck, 60 feet down, guarded by divers. A $415 million shadow on the seabed, proof that cartels had evolved beyond borders. They were no longer smugglers, they were engineers and strategists of a new kind of war. In Washington, Congress was briefed on the Narco Submarine threat corridor. New surveillance grids were planned across the Gulf, but everyone knew technology could only delay the inevitable. As the USCGC Hamilton turned toward port, Commander Rachel Decker stood at the bridge, eyes fixed on the horizon. The sea was calm again, too calm. She lowered her radio and whispered to the waves, "Let them come. We'll be waiting." And the ocean answered in silence, carrying her words into the deep. If you believe America's strength must never be silenced, like this video, share it, and subscribe, because only together can we keep these untold stories alive.